Hello everybody and welcome to episode 3 of the Pentagon Challenge, and at long last we can get down to the business of getting ourselves our very first Champions League trophy, and with this away game against the African Warriors will prove a very tough test for our Vasco da Gama players, but I feel we can give it a reasonable shot if we play to the best of our ability. And you can see in our fixtures list we'll be playing against the likes of Cape Town All-Stars, the Royal Eagles, Baraka FC and the Black Leopards after this. So if we get 3 points on the board here, there's a reasonable chance we can get off to a good start and put our bad pre-season behind us. The only thing you really want to know about our team is which players I put into it, and then we'll compare to the African Warriors. And this is the fixtures for the opening day. Probably the standout one is FC Cape Town against Santos FC. Santos FC probably one of the more popular clubs to join in this division, but let's head straight into the team selection screen, and this is my decided squad. I've gone for a 4-4-1-1 here. I'll just load the default team strategy like so, and we'll save it like this. So 4-4-1-1 custom. Unfortunately, the wingers don't adapt too well to being up in the attacking wing position, so I just decided to bring them back a little bit, see how they cope. The starting 11, I've got my number one goalkeeper Steve Hoffman in goal, Madaki at right back, Roscoe Peterson and Gino Mateski in centre back, and Stefensi Sturman as the left back. In the wings we have Make and the record signing Umbathani. Midfield is Motizwa and Abubakar. Attacking midfielder is one of our loanees, Shukumbuzo Mazibuko, and then my striker all on his own is Alcardo Van Gran. So mostly South African starting 11, just one player I think is not a South African in this starting lineup, so that there's no real restrictions as far as I'm aware. But let's head straight into the match now. It's very, very rare that I've gone to this screen in FM15 thanks to the stupid like one at a time opposition instruction interface, so I'm glad that's gone, but you'll be able to see plenty more on this screen now as we warm up for this match. You can see the league table there. I think it is 16 teams vying for promotion. The league winners go automatically, and then second and third go into a playoff. So there you go, 16 teams. We're very familiar with them as the season goes by. Their team, exact same formation. They're on the left hand side here. I don't know any of the players obviously, but some of them can be a big threat. And then there's a Shabalala, one of the more popular South African players. There you go. I'll just go into the opposition tactics, and you can now see they are very, very simple to do. Just 4 clicks as opposed to 16 or however many players you want to the man mark. Let's check out some of their star ratings. So we got 3 stars there, 1.5, 3, potentially 3.5, and 1.5. Not very good midfield. It seems to be a problem for some of the South African teams. They've got Sithole as a defender, so we should be the favourites, especially as the goalkeeper is quite poor, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind. We'll see how the Pro Zone tactics go if I have time to use them, but otherwise I'd like to see us shoot on sight, put that goalie under a little bit of pressure, possibly float the ball to the box. Where's shoot on sight, is it? There it is, sorry, yeah. So we'll shoot on sight and hit some early crosses, see how that goalkeeper copes. So let's encourage the team. Okay, pardon the interruption. These things happen. So see, we got 2 players looking happy. A few of them are keen, but the defenders, that's really important. I want them to be at tip-top shape. You can see a variety of last 5 game ratings, with the best being the 7.10 for Alcardo Van Gran, but his fitness is the lowest out of anybody, so I'll have to probably substitute him later on. But let's head straight into this match, get the crowd sounds on, and let's begin. They're nice and quiet for you this year, so there we go. I can't wait to get this challenge fully underway. We're playing in the black strip, kicking left to right, and then the African Warriors are going the opposite way, so we'll actually change this to what can I change it to? The overview. There you go. I like it that way. and we'll put this as the last action zones. That makes more sense in my opinion. So the Charles Mopelli Stadium is the host of this one. So 20 minutes in, hardly any highlights, but we are good on possession, so I might want to spread the ball around, more direct, and yeah, that's about right. So it's a set piece for them. We were able to clear. Mbatheni to Van Gran, holding up the ball. Mbatheni goes out wide. That's a bad cross, and you can see there's a big gulf in our midfield, pushing a little bit too high perhaps. And Nux Mialo onto the left hand side. That's good play, very clever play, and the African Warriors are in front. It's a great goal, has to be said, but what are we doing? We must demand more immediately. We go bottom of the league by virtue of this result, but there are other results coming in thick and fast. I have to see what's going on here. Why aren't we creating all these chances? So actually I'll go into the advanced tactics screen and we'll look at some pro zone. Like my favorite one to look at, average positions on the heat map. So overall Vasco da Gama very, very narrow, so we'll probably tell them roam from their positions. It's all very compact, and we may want to push the wing backs forward as well. So let's try that, and we'll look at some of the passes. So wing back support, and no, we don't want him to be limited fullback, so wing back support for him as well. These guys may want to push up themselves, may be for the detriment, but we just want to get something going here, and we'll go back to work the ball into the box and look for overlap, and maybe run at the defence and roam from position. So see if that makes a difference, but we're happy with the general starting 11, so we'll keep them going. I'll move this down. So not much excitement at the minute, but we are dominant, but not winning. That's not good enough. We have to do better than this. Defence has been bad, and I'm really upset with that, considering how up for this they seemingly were. The midfield would give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt, and the striker as well. So one last look at the pro zone, and we'll look at our passing, see if that's any good. So we want to deselect all this stuff and go to the passing. Let's see how that's going. So for Vasco da Gama, we've completed 214 passes, 48 have been intercepted. You can see we're all over the place really, and the ball's gone out of play 14 times. Key passes 7, and the shots, nothing really going for us at all. 3 off target, so we might want to tell our striker to do something about that. Yeah, I'm just getting used to this. I'm sure it'll be quicker in future. So when we want him to roam from position, he'll want to be more direct and shoot more often. See how that works. And then the goalkeeper, see if we can do anything about him. So we'll want him to take a long kick to the flanks. I probably should sort this out in future, and then more risky passes. Yeah, so that makes sense. So yeah, I'll do this in future just so I know exactly how good or bad my players are. But let's head straight to the second half and see if we can improve our dire situation. And there we go. Possession's good, passing's good. It's just the passion I think is lacking. So we'll go control and possibly fluid as well. See how we're reacting. 57 minutes already, and that's a chance for Abrahams, deflected out for a corner, and he's going to take this one nice and slowly. I'm going to say passion please. Cleared. Abrahams will get another go. Not a good cross, and it's out of play. There we go. It's time for a substitution right on 60 minutes, and they're doing quite well at the minute, so maybe I'll readjust my strategy. I'm going to swap the attacking midfielder, Sebastio in for Mazibuko, turn him into advanced playmaker support, and I'll change up the striker as well. He can be deep lying forward perhaps, and put him on attack. So there you go, 2 changes straight away, and we really need to get our mojo going here. I don't know how good or bad my goalkeeper's kicks are, but he's not done too well there. Kicking is 10. It's about as good as you're going to get, really, for a team that can't spend too much money. That's a disastrous pass. Oh, if that had gone in, that would have been humiliating. But it's all the African Warriors' time at the minute. We're going to go attacking, try and stop this disaster and demand more. Sebastio finds Mbembeni. And there's Kabato. Good cross. And it's actually a corner with 15 minutes to play. That's a free. So I'm actually going to turn this down. I can't keep up with how fast the game's going. And I'm going to bring on my Loney player Bakar Balde for the final 15 minutes. And instruct him to push forward. We'll see how Prozone is reacting to this now in the second half. So are the players listening to me? We'll get rid of the shots and we'll look at the heat map and average position. Sorry. Yeah, it's really spoiling the momentum, isn't it? So we are getting something going, but not much. Yeah. So the second half we'll probably want to look at. Scroll that down, and since the 70th or the 65th minute, yeah, it's kind of the same thing, really. We're gonna have to do something about that in future training sessions, I suppose, but we're gonna push up, go for the jugular, and see if we can save this tie. So we'll go back to retain possession, and we'll try and hit some early crosses again, and turn this off and turn that off. Maybe push up some more, take a risk, and see if we can save the game. So we'll confirm our substitution, and there we go. So fingers crossed. We have paid attention to Prozone. I think we're getting better now, so push forward. The time is now if you're going to save this tie. We're predicted to finish in the top 5, and I want a top half finish, so that's 8th or better. So it's about right. But the African Warriors continue to push forward. Oh, that's glorious. What a goal. And that could be us dead and buried. Not pleased with that, but it was a beautiful goal. Can we at least get one goal? I'm not too happy losing 2-0 here in our debut. No, it's doomed. We're gone. That's game. Whitbank Spurs looking to win the game in the death, and it looks like they have, but that's just poor. I have to say it's really, really poor, and that's a wasted pass, but it doesn't matter. The African Warriors take a 2-0 win into their opening game, and we have suffered the defeat, and we're going to have to work really hard over the next week to rectify the situation. Like you can see, we've got something going here, but we're bottom of the league by virtue of goal difference. Like, we've good possession, we foul a bit too much, I'll accept that, but our shooting is poor. We only got 2 shots on target in the whole 90 minutes, and that has to be something to look at heading into our next few games. So a really, really poor start to the Pentagon Challenge, probably expected, to be honest, but we are bottom of the league, and we're going to have to find a new midfielder very soon. Our second game is against Cape Town at home in just 7 days' time. The best player of my debut was my signing, Mackay, so that means he can probably keep his place, but I'm going to have to organise a few reserve games, get the players who aren't fully fit up to peak condition, and my next game will probably be, there's a big gap, a really big gap here, so we'll come back for I'd like to play a home game, so I suppose the Black Leopards, who are currently top of the table, that'll be a good game to pick up on. But until next time, I hope you enjoyed the rather subdued live com with all my analysis, and we'll see you for the 5th game of the season. Bye for now, everybody.